Yes, I did see Bri's video. Everybody stop sending it to me. And I'm going to address it, and I'm going to address several other things going around right now. First and foremost, Bri wants to point out the word gross in this report about how much methamphetamines she had on her. And she is not wrong whenever she says, it says gross, gross, gross. But it does not take away from the fact that there were drugs found in her car. And I'm sure that whenever the crime lab gets done with all of it, we will have exact numbers. But pointing out that it was residue and not full amounts only tells me one thing. Somebody did the drugs. So it's really not the ha, gotcha you think it is. So again, gross may include the packaging. But the proof is there was still drugs in that car, residue or not. Now the video here has also been sent to me multiple times, as has Dreamer's threat towards me. And I have had several people tell me to call the DA and that they are calling the DA on my behalf to let it be known that this is happening with Bri on panel. And y'all, that is not necessary. And I do not encourage it because that threat did not come from Bri. It came from Dreamer, also known as Linda. And while I understand and appreciate people wanting to protect me, please do not fear. I've contacted my local police and made it known. And that is all that needs to be done. Nobody else needs to be calling on my behalf because I have handled it at this point. And again, like I said, it was not Bri who made that comment. She did say they move in silence. And again, my local departments have been made aware of that. So I would like for everybody to stand back and just watch. And if there is something said about me, of course, send it to me. But please do not be calling people on my behalf. I promise I have a working phone and I will do what is necessary to protect me and my children. Now, the next thing that I would like to address. Everybody keeps saying, oh, Audrey went real life by requesting this FOIA. True crime is the covering of real life events. I don't know how to make that much clearer other than her getting arrested was her committing a crime or potentially committing a crime because you are innocent until proven guilty in America. But I am covering it because it is an ongoing case. And for weeks, they covered a case that happened in my real life, where my baby daddy went to prison for shaking our son when he was 3 weeks old. But they went a little far because this girl said she was going to deliver karma to me personally. And well, if you don't want to read where somebody told me about it, you can just read the comment where she said it for herself. And this girl has a close connection to Bri and them. Additionally, they went on a whole rampage and said that I was the child abuser, not my baby daddy. And then they talked about how my kids were around their father. And then they went on to discuss about how my baby daddy had been around my kids after getting out of prison. And they're not wrong. He has. And that is not entirely in my control. I am not the first person that has had to deal with something like this. My kids are not the first children that have had to deal with something like this, where they still see their perpetrator. But then they took it a step further and got pictures of my children. And while one is still a minor and the other one isn't, they got their minor photos and shared them. Something I don't even do to Gypsy. And she actually is a felon. I'm not. But they didn't stop there. They went to my daughter's graduation photos and posted pictures like this of my elbow, pictures of my ankles, pictures of my bottom teeth before I got Invisalign, and then questioned why my baby daddy was at my daughter's graduation. Probably because my daughter is over the age of 18 and who she invites to her graduation is out of my control. But then again, as I said before, him being around is not in my control necessarily either. The part that is in my control is making sure it is a safe environment. But nonetheless, they did this for days. And on top of that, for weeks, Bri went on live talking about my child. And so did her friends like Dreamer, where they speculated things like that my son has autism when he doesn't. And Bri is mad that my son flipped her off. He's 16, y'all. He's not 5. I would like to see a 16-year-old that has never flipped anybody off. Additionally, they said I was a bad parent because my son could hear what Bri and them were saying about him. My office is right across the hall, so he can hear pretty much everything. And one of those times was on a live whenever it was me, Keish, and Bri. And I let them know my son was in the car with me whenever I said I'm taking my son to a doctor's appointment. But Bri just had to continue bringing up that I had a special needs son, even after I had asked her to stop, because my son could hear her. Additionally, Bri went on to say that she was going to file harassment charges on me because I'm trying to humiliate her. Babe, you made your mugshot your profile picture. That doesn't scream humiliated. Additionally, per Louisiana law, specifically 1440-01, humiliation is not grounds for a harassment charge, nor is it grounds for a harassment charge in my state. Just because something may make you a little uncomfy doesn't make it harassment. People need to understand that. And me posting something that is available through a Freedom of Information Act is also not harassment, nor is it illegal. And for people that are accusing me for what is going on with Bri, I would like to point something out to you. Nowhere in this primary narrative is my name mentioned. You know why? Because I was not the one driving the car. That was highly illegal to be on the road. It was not my purse. It was Bri's purse that the drugs were in. I did not do this to Bri. Bri's actions did this to her. And them trying to excuse away their actions by blaming me is wild work. Deflection 101, y'all. Read a book. I am not the only creator that they have went after. And I can guarantee you I won't be the last. And whenever Bri says the report says gross weight, she's not wrong. It does say gross. But again, it does not take away from the fact that there were drugs in the car. That is a fact. And all I did was report on it. I didn't even roast the poor girl about it. And I absolutely could have. But I chose to stick to the facts as they are written on paper till we have more information. And that information could take a while if Bri decides to plead innocent or not guilty. Because then it will go through a criminal litigation. At which point she could be found not guilty. She could also be found guilty. She could also sign a plea deal like Gypsy did. Nobody needs to call any district attorney's office or police department on my behalf. If I feel that there is something that needs to be reported, I will pick up my phone and I will do it myself. Now, if there's something that you think I should hear, absolutely send it to me. I appreciate that. But I don't appreciate if people are trying to make it worse for somebody because their friend said something. And that is the situation here. Dreamer is the one who made a direct threat. Dreamer has been reported. Now, I apologize that this is a really long video, but I wanted to address several things at one time. And for everybody that's going to slide into my comments and say, Bri's really a good person, I highly disagree. Good people do not go online and speculate about a minor child being autistic. I hope everybody has an amazing day and that they don't do anything that Bri, Gypsy, or their crew would do. Mwah! I love you all.